and I will record this. But hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about the behind the scenes now. We're finally here. So if you didn't watch it or didn't know about it, I did a debut last Saturday. Actually, yeah, 1 week ago from right now, we were in the middle of the debut. Yeah. And it was a lot of work, and there are a lot of details on it. This may be pretty selfish of me, but I kind of want to go over all the little things that maybe you missed, maybe you didn't notice, or like how everything worked. I find this very fun. I really like, not just to pat ourselves on the back that we did a great job or something, but I love sharing with people how everything came together. And Jayo is with me. Hi, Jayo.
Hi, friends.
So Jayo played a huge part in this because, and I thanked her during the end, but she definitely deserves more thanks because originally I was going to do that whole computer thing, the whole computer scene, with like an HTML browser page. And then I messaged Jayo and I was like, hey, I want to do this thing. Like maybe using a browser source or whatever. I want to know if you maybe you could give me some pointers or tips. And then Jayo was like, well, I can just do all this stuff a different way. And then she hopped on and was just became an integral part of the project. Just because you found it fun, so thank you. I'm honored that you enjoyed the idea enough to spend this much time on it to make it a reality.
I honestly think it was probably one of the most elaborate, involved VTuber debuts that has been out there. So
I will pat myself on the back. It was a little over the top. Yeah.
I know it seemed really exciting and interesting to be able to get on board with something like this and kind of get to do what I do and share with an audience that I know contains a lot of my friends. I see you. But
yeah, I'm just so dang happy, Jayo, you had a fun time. People will probably get annoyed with me asking this, but whenever someone draws me or spends any sort of time giving me something or helping me with something, the number one thing is I hope you're not working yourself too hard. I hope you're having a blast with it. And this is a passion thing for you. Because I don't ever want to take advantage of anybody. I want people to earn the respect they deserve for everything. But I have here, so this all started with a little storyboard I made. I have the storyboard here. Here it is.
It always starts with a sketch.
Yeah, but it starts with a sketch. So I literally made an entire storyboard that I drew out. This is my initial idea I had in August or something is when I made this, beginning of September. So we could go through the storyboard and you can see how it changes. All is well. Here's happy me in my room. You got the chat window. You got a low poly Hylian shield. You got the Metroid in the corner. And then I got, meteorite hits, red alert, screen shake, steam vents, sound effects, the works. Oh my god. They have all this set as a movie. And then it's got station status, solar ray offline, hull breach, etc., life support offline. And cut to black, station monitor comes up and lists damage report, stays here until power reaches 0. So we worked that a little bit differently once I had the voiceover. Then I had force kill the stream when power hits 0%. So originally I was going to have a little power indicator on screen that would slowly go to 0. And when it hits 0, I would literally force kill OBS so that you would actually have the stream go offline and it has this thing pop up. And
I still think you should have done that. It would have been so metal.
It would have been metal, but I opted not to because whenever you force kill OBS, it kind of busts a lot of things. It did pop up briefly because I recorded a video during one of the times I had to reset my stream. I recorded video of the head thing, and then I placed that into a scene. So it's actually right here. Let me show you. So I still have the scene. So I can cut to the scene anytime I want now. Hang on, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So I recorded like a minute of it. Yeah, rip stream. It's over, Jayo. It's done. And yeah, that was a technical reason. Because I wanted to record it, and my computer was dying trying to do it. Mainly because this model is extremely intense. It's 400 megabytes of data. Which is big for something like this to run real time and be manipulated real time. But yeah, the original plan was I force kill the stream and then load up OBS, let it sit for a little bit, and come back in. But I wanted to have a continuous recording, which I had to fail anyway. The reason during the debut, and I'll talk about this when we go through and do the run through. And I'll say some of this conversation here. Let's just continue going through the storyboard. So yeah, force kill the stream. I got like backup generators activated, ground link established, media found play. So the stream reboots. And then I have a video of me from the past giving hints for a password. This is my sketch. So I had very early on the idea to use my old layouts and Kiara 1.0 for it. Because I wanted it to feel like this is something I one-off did years ago, even though I recorded it like a couple months ago. But it felt like it was old. I used a shitty microphone intentionally. I broke out the shitty microphone. The audio
quality was different. Is that how you did that?
Yeah, I literally brought out a shitty microphone to record that, and not my regular one. And then I also put some filters on it in Premiere to like make it sound even shittier. So I wanted it to sound bad. So I found my old layouts, record a little bit to look like it was all there. And then I have, remote connection established, enter credentials, then chat can submit answers. I just type them in. Yeah, originally I was just going to type in chat answers myself as they came in. I didn't plan on having any sort of Twitch integration. Like a... Wow! These attacks in my own stream. Yeah. But yeah, I was just going to type in passwords as they came in. And then you log in. So there's no two-factor code. You log in, and then like it has just the cameras, security cameras. You can disable... I was going to have an alarm playing, and you have to disable the alarm. And then after you disable the alarm, you can go do everything else. But I figured it'd be annoying having the alarm go all the time, so I dropped that segment. So you skipped the part where you had to disable an alarm. But yeah, chat can pick options to execute. Yeah, and then it's just like cam A to C are alt views of the station. After all three are viewed, a new cam pops up. Main camera back online. So this is before I came up with the power reroute idea. Cutting to the art. Yeah, here we go. Scan vitals. Parentheses, vitals will look bad is what I had in the storyboard. Passed out on ground, animated art, chat will scan vitals. Yeah, that's what I had. And then initiate project something. I was like, I'll come up with the name later. After vital scans are run, child will be prompted to activate project blank. Yeah, then text to thing like, yeah, prompt, look at channel point rewards. I didn't even need to prompt y'all to look at the channel point rewards. You just all knew. Then I originally had it where like a name would pop up on screen if you contributed NRG. So I put Jayo and Jonah and Oofy here. Yeah. An orb is spawned for each time that channel point redemption. That's true. Every single orb that you saw on screen came from a channel point redemption. That was not played. That was real time, based off of you.
It was
doing
wild how quick those came in. We definitely well underestimated.
Over 500 orbs came in, Jayo. I still have the redeems. Yeah, it was over 500. For what it's worth, chat. Well, I'll talk about more of the details when we get to the video part. Yeah, after enough orbs, the screen flashes to white, and then you have the outfit for a transformation sequence. Yeah, then I got zoom in on Jewel Necklace. It glows, video rewinds, and Crisis reverted before it happens. Then originally I had me float down from the top of screen, but I couldn't figure out how to work that. And then begin regular stream. Then I have a little reserved things. There's the storyboard. So I whipped this out to share to people in order to kind of get the point across. So that was my initial idea back in September for it. But here we can go back to the video because there's the initial concept, and then I took this to Jayo and I showed you the storyboard, right? And you're like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. I can make this."
Yeah, and that was before we got it like sort of a little bit non-linear and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So here's the actual debut part. I'm gonna lower the volume so I don't hear myself talk because I get embarrassed. So the whole thing that starts with the red alerts. I hope you're ready. Oh yeah, I did the bait and switch. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Here we go. Here it is. All right, so I showed this. This is from the reference sheet. Because I needed an excuse to change scenes. Yeah, I need an excuse to change scenes to the one that's going to have all the shit go down. Because I had that as a separate scene in OBS where everything is going to activate. Because I didn't want to activate it there. So the whole reason I did this fake out is that so I can be here, I control a little bit. So this is me acting... There it is, right here. Acting like, oh, hey, I got you. This was all part of the plan in order to... get on the correct scene without that was my mistake for having to retoggle chat. I forgot to have it turned on. I did a rehearsal and I forgot to, but no, actually my chat here on this screen until I changed it it refreshes every single time you load the scene. So this is actually intended behavior. Based off of the expectation. Anytime I would go to the just chatting scene, the browser refreshes and it starts empty. Which I didn't actually change that until like 2 days ago. Anyway, so now we're faded back, and this is now a special video that is playing. So it's about 6 minutes long, and I made it at the exact resolution and time spacing as my regular ones. If you go back and forth, it should look exactly the same. Astute viewers may notice that this little chibi me, pixel art me, is in an ever so slightly different spot than where it is post here. Ever so slightly different spot. But once this video starts playing, at about the 2-minute mark, or about like a minute and a half in, is when Nicole, the computer, comes on and says voices. So I intentionally didn't like write anything to say. This is me just basically improving it. I kind of bombed a little bit. I don't think my dialogue I came up with was too good because I was just really improving the whole thing. So I was just gonna talk and then just wait for it to cut me off so I can be surprised when it happens. But it's like a minute and a half into this. Oh, okay. There's chat. Hi, chat. Hi. Yeah. So I covered for chat breaking and all that. But yeah, this is all the videos going. So what I did is I made this whole thing in there will be something in After Effects. And I'm stalling for time here. I'm thinking of random shit to say because I need to kill time until until the voice comes on saying there's an object
Toxic,
approaching,
so toxic. Can't believe it.
Warning.
which comes in.
Identified object
Oh yeah, there it
enters
is.
the exclusion zone.
what the
Evasive
hell?
maneuvers required immediately.
Yeah,
No,
so
it should-
what the hell? Yeah, obviously I knew this was fine. Then instantly you can see the asteroid coming in, or the meteor, or whatever you want to call it, just at the top. So again, this is all a baked video that I had to make for the whole thing.
Possible.
And it
Hang
took
on,
me a
chat,
while
I
to
should
get
probably go check this
all
out
the
really
pieces
quick.
there. Trying to get this to
Here,
look
red alert.
natural. And then getting the red alert, so I think the red alert itself was pretty minimal, but you should be able to see the red siren
Collision in.
going around.
I got a password here. It's probably a mistake. Oh, nope, something's coming. Shit. I just gotta log in.
My acting is so bad. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be fine.
So
It's gonna be fine.
I have this little meteor, right? So it comes in slowly. It's really hard to make it convincing that it's moving fast and it's moving in orbit. I mean, it's a PNG I'm manipulating, right? Oh my god, lore broken. So the way I kind of got around it is I had this like initial slow thing come in, and then it intentionally kind of stalls for a little bit behind the window. So it's gonna go right in there,
It's gonna be fine.
right there. So I have it stall here until it gets to the right point where I can bring it in after enough time. Yeah, so basically it's moving ever so slowly, and then I want people to kind of get surprised when it really speeds up and is now big and it's close, because it does all that right here. So you're missing the final approach. This is intentionally covering up the final approach, so it doesn't look as weird as if this was a full window and you could see the entire thing coming. I could also change the direction of it, and it looks fine.
Shit.
Yep, there it goes. So now it's coming in really fast, and it gets really big really fast. And there's motion blur. I put motion blur on it, so that it looks more natural when it's coming in. Look at that. A detail nobody would notice, but I'm talking about because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of all this. Then it impacts. No. So it comes in. Let me. Oh wait, hang on. I sped up a little bit too much. Oh, come on, Windows Media Player, you can play.
Activate the thrusters.
Collision
It's gonna be
in.
fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Three,
Shit. No.
Oh my gosh. So the entire
Star Trek
screen.
stumbled.
Yeah, the entire screen is shaking. So this was actually the hardest part to get working. Because if you pause it, like while this whole thing's going, let me see if I can get it at a good moment. So the entire screen is shaking. Let's see. Yeah. So the entire screen is shaking, and like I had to make a mask, because again, this is all a video, right? So I had to make a mask via a video that would overlay over me, that would play at the exact same time, so that I am masked properly behind the desk while the whole thing's shaking. Oh yeah, and yeah, the sprite gets thrown out. But I want to talk about some minor details here that nobody would notice. Again, first of all, like everything has motion blur on it, which is why it took like 18 hours to render this video. All right, yeah, there she goes. She's gone. But yeah, you can see how the mask still lines up, even though it's all shaking. Oh, I look kind of happy on this freeze frame. Look at that. Yeah, there goes this. So there's this big flare that comes out at the top, Star Trek style. And then all the sparks come down. And I did make it, because I care about all the details nobody's going to notice, So these particles are actually affected by the light here. So I had to figure out how to get that art going. So that's slightly bluer on this side than on this side, because the particles are entering the light. See, so here if I pause here, you can see a little bit more clearly.
That is just wild.
This was so much fun. Like, I had never used After Effects before, so I had to figure out how to make a particle system. Then I had to line up the floor so like the particles are bouncing on the floor, right? So it looks like they're bouncing down here. So that it took me forever to line that up so the floor matched. So it looks like the particles are actually hitting the floor, and it looks like it's all in universe. And then I have the aetherite glowing with the little power flicker. I have chat still glowing with the power flicker, and everything else is kind of darkened out as a result. And then, yeah, this was actually really fun. Jayo didn't know about me adding this little thing in until I actually did it. This loose cable, I had to manually, frame by frame, figure out how to make it look like a natural swing. There was no just simulate the physics. I had to do the physics myself to make it look like it swung naturally. And I didn't want it to stop. I wanted it to constantly sway during the rest of the video. So realistically, friction would stop it from happening. And yeah, then you got the 1-2 punch of Steam Vent 1 coming in. And then Steam Vent 2 coming in down here. Because what would an explosion be if you didn't have sparks and steam, Jayo? You gotta have it in.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this as you kind of built this up piece by piece and kept sending me previews, and it did take you a whole day, but at the same time, I was absolutely mind blown with how much you were getting done so quickly, and then being like, oh, by the way, I didn't know what a particle system was yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't. I learned all this stuff. So this smoke, I was pretty disappointed with the way the particles looked in After Effects. So I made my own. I made my own particle, my own smoke particle. So that's a customized one, yours truly created to look like smoke. Which I think I did. I'll pat myself on the back. I think I did a good job with the particle. Let's make it look like a pretty convincing smoke going through. But the smoke, after I got the particle and kind of got the sizing correct, I still want, I care about all the little details. And again, this is something nobody probably notices, but we still have this big blue light coming in, right? So I wanted to make a very convincing looking effect with the smoke going into the blue light here from the outside. So if you really just laser focus in at this area, I think I got a really cool effect going of it pushing in and kind of.
I'm fine.
It makes it look more 3D the way it's done.
No big deal.
Where it's fading in and out and in and out, and
disasters such as this, there's nothing to worry about.
So this
again,
took a long time.
With the light.
Yeah. And I have a little sound effect there. And this whole thing is baked. So this entire video, all the sound effects, all the timing is baked. I'm not pressing any buttons. Yeah, you mean how the particles mess with the light refraction? Yep. That's right. So yeah, this whole video is things I had to act out to the timings and make sure I got my talk with the computer at the right timings so that there wasn't any unnatural pause. All this whole conversation with the computer I have.
Computer, status report.
Hull breaches in sectors 1.
I had to rehearse out the timing
11.
so that
Thrusters offline.
I knew
Navigation computer offline. External
I knew how
comms
everything
offline.
worked, and this is supposed to say how screwed I am and everything. And
CO2
Yeah, so we got
stars
sparks
offline.
coming out.
Support system
These sparks are
offline.
semi-random,
Solar array offline.
and
Power dropping.
most of them have a unique
Great,
spark sound
great.
effect
Is there anything
that doesn't
else
really
I should
repeat.
know?
Due to the collision,
So I had to go
less
line those up.
corrections are made. Re-entry
Hold on.
into the
And then I
atmosphere.
want to talk about this here, the swinging cable. So I drew this. I just went in Photoshop and drew it to try and match the look of the layout so it wouldn't fill in. So I made little wires coming out and everything. And then to sell it, I wanted to put the shadow in here that swings back and forth with it, which honestly, the shadow's not too bad because I can just tie the shadow movement to this and I'll just go back and forth. But
Current 20
I needed to mask it. I want you to look at this light here because the shadow isn't going to shadow out light, right? So that's why this light is, there's no shadow on it. There's no shadow on this light because there wouldn't be shadow there, right? But if you watch this little light that goes across the room, just watch it.
4 seconds. 3 seconds.
See, when the light's behind it, there's no shadow.
2 seconds.
And then when it passes, the shadow's back. That's what took the long time. So I basically had to make an animated mask that traveled with that light and reset with that light so that it would cover out the shadow whenever the light is there. So
I feel like this is more effort put into like those tiny details than like any modern movie that I've seen recently.
Ground
I care
communications
about the small
disconnected.
details, okay? I really like it. But yeah, you can see
That's fantastic.
Yeah, how
like it's really cool to work with somebody who actually cares if something is good because that's astonishingly rare.
Sorry of all the things I was worried I could
this
go today.
it also glows a little bit as it gets closer down here to this light.
Sorry, when I need to go
That's
take
a very
care of
minor
this, might be
thing.
too much Kiara left.
Power
But yeah,
I'll
you can
reach out to
see
debut.
17
you
seconds.
can see the shadow work that way. Oh god. That was the only thing I actually triggered manually. I was like, okay, I need it out. Let me get a transparency explosion effect and put it on there. But yeah, the red alert sound effects I just lifted from an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And then I pulled up most of the other sound effects from just various sources I found that I really liked, for like the big explosion. I really like how the explosion sounded. But yeah, that gets me out of the picture so I can start prepping. And I do this early,
10.
so hopefully you're having a heart attack and like, oh god. And then I'm making this, and then yeah, the sparks do glow in the dark, even though you can barely see it. Trying to stop it on some sparks. But yeah, the sparks do persist and have their own lighting so that when it's darkened out, they're still bright. And then you get the whole power goes out. And this is where I transition over to the scene. But yeah, these are all little details that I like talking about, and if they are not noticed, then that's good because that means it wasn't distracting and it fit in, right? Which is exactly what you want. You don't want people to notice your little special effects. You want them to be immersed by the special effects, and then everything's in there. But you'll notice the video here is very choppy. So this is when I was loading Kiara Outfit 4. And whenever I loaded this, it bricked my computer. So I had to stop the recording. And this is why I was on this screen for a long time, because I was dropping thousands of frames. I think I dropped like 4,000 frames during this. No, the chop was dropping frames. So I'm sitting here waiting for OBS to stop throwing a fit so that I can transition over and it'll be okay. Also, in this video, I forgot to unmute the computer, but I added it in for the YouTube video, so you can hear what it sounds like. So there was this little boot up thing, boot up sound. I love that sound effect.
Once you handed me like one repeated kind of choppy typey sound effect, what I wound up doing was cutting it down to like actually one little blip, and it actually fires one of those blips every time it types a character.
Yeah, so we got the little custom sound effects for the characters, and it works really good. Yeah, we got the dial up.
That's the real reason
I
it
was
took
just
me so
sending
long to
Jayo
get
all
your
the sound
chat.
effects. Like, here's more sound effects. Here's more sound effects. I have like 50 sound effects I've used for this. All right, I'm curious. Did anybody notice the funny thing with the name here for opening emergency interface for critical hazard assistance terminal? Did
I hope
anybody
so,
notice?
because I was very proud of it.
CHAT. Yeah, it's chat.
That we decided to add this one a little bit later into the process
Yeah.
because I thought it was going to be a good way to sort of prime chat to understand that they were going to be playing a role in this by getting you a very straightforward interaction to do that was like just straight up spelled out. So I feel kind of really set the tone of you're a character in this story and you're going to have to do things to get us out of this.
Yeah, this is a really smart. This was not my idea to have people log in and use a command. That was all Jayo's idea. But so Jayo, this is your handiwork. This whole computer interface. Like all I did was make the art, and I gave Jayo all the sound effects. But everything else was coded up. How does this thing work? What is it? Because I think chat would be surprised how much went into this.
It's, believe it or not, this whole thing is actually a very elaborate plugin for vtuberEN, which is actually 3D VTuber software. But yeah, it basically just gave me that basically scriptable piece of Unity that already has all of the Twitch integrations in it. And basically two of the mechanics that you're going to see that drive this whole thing are what I call password drivers, which are situations where there was some kind of password or code that chat has to enter. I can get into some more details about how that works when we get to the first one. And the other one was something that I called mass drivers. That was any time we needed to have a certain number of things or a certain number of people happen to move forward. And that was to deal with the challenge that, well, the audience is a lot of people and they're all working through varying degrees of stream delay. So like how
Yep.
can we make something feel snappy and interactive and like people are part of it and take that into account?
Yep. So vtuberEN coming to save the day, loading all this shit in there. And the reason my computer was dying is because this is all rendered at 4K because I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, so this one right here, use exclamation point link to verify connection. I think we had it set to 10. So 10 unique people, like you couldn't have just one person spam. 10 unique people had to use exclamation point link in order for the bar to fill up and for it to proceed. So you can see the stream delay in action, and then yeah, Ikari Colwing, Luna. Let's see who was on this list. Ikari Colwing, Luna, Shinobu, Anya. I guess we had it at 5. Eddie,
All those
Ophelia,
10, they all just came
Vula.
in really fast.
Yeah, Querno, Robolane, Billy Boy, Safe Blend, Father. Now, here's the cool thing. So you needed 10 to do it, right? But it would still display your name for a brief amount of time if you used exclamation point link. So it'll still keep on going after the minimum
I gave
is
it about
met.
5 seconds after the ding, that it would just keep typing out names as they came in.
Yeah, so like DTD, Mihail, yeah. Lady Kelgana was the last. Yep, and then
Backup gen.
and then we're here on the login screen. Look how many people were typing link. So this is why I was so scared, chat. The reason I was nervous, the reason I wanted a big turnout is I had to properly size this to predict how many people I wanted. I was like, dang, I'm going to have 10 people using exclamation point link. I'm going to have people send orbs. Like, what do I set these numbers to? And are people going to understand it? But yeah, so we get into the computer interface, and this is like a pre-rendered background. If you watch my chat's Q&A or my chat quiz, remember where I asked you all a quiz, a whole bunch of questions about me for my anniversary? Anybody remember this? It was a primitive version of this layout right here that I was working on at the time. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and put that up. I was pretty happy with how it looks. Like, oh, I'll just use this as a background. Nobody's gonna think the wiser that this is Outfit 4 stuff. No one's gonna know. Like, not a single person is gonna put that together. That this little graphic I made was for Outfit 4. But it's like a 20-second looping video. I made this in After Effects and Photoshop. I kind of like how it looks. I based this off of my layouts and kind of my general stream vibe with like the little circuits going around, and yeah, I got the live transmission coming on,
Ground
and
link reestablished.
then glowing, and
Welcome
then going back.
Kiara.
And yeah, so this was a video, again, a video layout that I handed to Jayo. And then I wanted to make it very clear that there's something wrong, that it's not implied that I'm just out of the picture, but like the computer's trying to talk to me, right? And I don't respond, so that kind of leads
Kiara.
it there.
Chat. I believe something terrible has happened.
Shouts to Nicole Goodnight for recording all
Kiara
this.
does not trust AI, so unfortunately I am locked out of any systems. I am opening up a terminal, but you will have to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Kiara left a video. Would you like me to play
Timed
it?
all this coming on screen based off of the chat message. And yeah, I love this song. I was thinking really hard about songs to put on here. I was even talking to Jayo here, like, hey, what song should I put in? And ended up coming up with a couple, the ones that you hear. But I do really like how
God, Nigel, she didn't go for it.
I ended up getting there. But yeah, every single graphic for the computer interface I made, I'm pretty proud of myself. This is why I was artistically drained, is because I was making all this shit. This is Jayo. Jayo is with me here. Who made this computer interface for me. But yeah, I am very proud of myself for making this look presentable, I hope. I was going to add some more stuff to the background here, but I like the simple look to it. And when all the other stuff came on, I thought it looked pretty good. But yeah, so exclamation point play, I think you needed like 5 uniques. A lot of this stuff is, oh yeah, Eddie is toxic is the first password that was submitted.
I also like that for both the password and the later code, people tried mustard almost immediately.
Wait, did they try mustard? I didn't catch that. Hang on. Eddie is toxic.
Order confirmed. Beginning video play.
Oh yeah, we're watching the video. Oh yeah, here's the video I made with my shitty microphone.
Yeah. I think we got it. Wait. Was I seriously muted the whole... Oh, god damn it.
This was hard for me to act out because obviously there's no one I'm talking to.
Go ahead and reset the cue cards. Yeah.
Got the cue cards and everything. There's someone there off camera.
Okay, all right. Hi everyone. I hope you never have to see this, but if you do, that means
this is how
something
you looked
terrible
when we
has
first
happened,
met.
and you probably need to log in for remote access to the station.
I tried to give
It's set to play this
2
on
different
the screen, so
performances.
fingers crossed it actually works. But it's too risky to just give the password here. But I put a hint in the description of my debut video. For security reasons, that is all I can give you. It's all up to you now, chat. I believe in you. Also, don't go snooping around too much, okay? There, I think we got it.
I say some other miscellaneous stuff at the end there. But I wanted to, I'm not sure if this came across. I wanted to give off two vibes during that video. Like, I did rehearse. I'm trying my best to act for y'all. I'm not a professional actor. I'm an amateur. Where when I'm talking to the person off camera, that's supposed to sound more natural, like a conversation I would actually have with somebody. And then when I'm actually reading the stuff on the cue cards, it should sound like I'm literally just reading text. So I hope that was the impression that came across, that we're swapping between it. But that was the goal I had with that little video, to kind of have little subtle differences in my delivery where it sounds like I'm reading off of a script versus not a script. So whether or not it came across, I don't know. That's up to you to tell me if I did a good job.
I think you sold it.
I tried my best to sell it. Professional actor Kiara. No, amateur actor Kiara. So yeah, originally, like I said earlier, I was going to have this where I type in the passwords manually. But I really am glad that we got it actually working with chat to actually put it in. And yeah, the password. So the YouTube video, if you missed it. Oh yeah, the boobies. So that says I left a hint in my debut video. And let me go to my debut video. It should be like one of the first things you look at. Yeah, here we are. 10,000 subs, not safe for work body pillow. It's still there. Wow, I had 2,000 subs. Chat picks a costume to commission. Wow. 1,200 subs, an actual karaoke stream. All right, so if you go in here to this video, I zoom in. The hint is right here. You just look at the all caps letters, with people found pretty good. Check the schedule banner for 9/16. That's the hint here that this provided for the password. And then if you go into Discord here, let me make sure I don't have the not safe for work channel open, as it accidentally was. And you go to the schedule channel in Discord. The reason I made the schedule channel is so this hint would be here. You'll notice there's no editing on this picture. This was posted September 15th, 2024. No edit.
She did this for real.
Yeah. So the password has been there, and I have a funny thing to talk about for this. You can open the link. And I intentionally chose the sexier art so people would be distracted. But if you really zoom in and look close, and you can't do it on the compressed version, it doesn't show up on the, so you literally have to open up in a tab for it to show up. But there's little letters in these boxes. Like there's a C, there's an O, there's an N. I forget, there's the S, T. Probably doesn't come up on stream too well. You'd have to go through, but throughout all of these boxes spells out the word constellation. Now I was thinking it was going to be a group activity, but Crealia freaking killed it and was the only one who was able to find it. But when I was coming up with, like, I wanted little puzzles or something for y'all to solve, but it was really tough to think about it because, like, everybody, there's going to be a lot of people watching, and like, how do I make this so like it's not just so easy, so heckin' easy, that that everybody gets it. So I'm kind of glad that everybody was looking at it and only one person found it. I did say in chat, like, hey, look closer, look closer. So I'm glad that with like 100 and almost 200 people watched this, and you know, it was a little bit of a hunt. You know, people had to find it. But the funny story I want to talk about on this one, let me bring in some music here, because Jayo, I don't even think you know about this. Maybe you do. So I posted this schedule like September 15th or something, right? And then immediately after this, I went to Kaizo Coliseum. So I was gone for almost a week. And, so like there's no schedule. And Professor Nessie in chat was like, oh, LOL, I'm going to make a schedule for Kiara while she's gone. Just as like a funny thing. She's going to make I want to make a fake schedule. And you needed a place to start. And there's only one schedule that I had posted in the schedule channel at this time, I think. So Ness takes it and then it's like copy pasting stuff around to try and to like cover up and make it clean, get rid of the text and all of that. Yeah, and there's different colors and everything. So yeah, Ness, and then Ness posted Discord. She posted freaking Discord. That was like, oh, I'm trying to make this schedule, but like all these mysterious letters keep showing up. And is talking about this, like, so just like 4 messages, like, shh. I'm like, delete.
Oh yeah, I think you did DM me about that. You're like, well, somebody already found it.
Yeah, I deleted it, and I had to message Ness like, Ness, please don't tell this to anybody. But like of all the things I expected, I did not expect someone in my community to take that schedule as a template to make a fake schedule as a silly joke while I'm gone at an event. Like that was not on my radar at all. So yeah, I had to have a private conversation with Ness saying, hey buddy, don't share this with anybody. You have privileged information. But yeah, all the passwords, all the hints, I placed in September. So those have been there for 7 months. And only Ness discovered the schedule thing. No one else discovered the schedule thing. I don't think anybody read the description of my debut video, and I don't think anybody knows the bold letters for the 2-factor code. But yeah, that was really funny. I can't believe Ness found it like instantly. Anyway, I want to see what all the different passwords were put in so people wouldn't debut. I didn't get to read this because I was too busy doing other stuff while this is all happening automatic. So this thing's running itself. I don't have to do anything. Outfit 4.
And actually, the way that works with all of the people coming in is every time it's typing in a password, while it's typing it out, it's banking all the other passwords that come in. Then when it's done typing, it would check the list to see if one of the passwords is right. And if so, it would enter it. Otherwise, it would pick another one of the wrong ones at random and start typing that. And again, bank up the rest of the passwords. That way, chat could spam a whole bunch. Plenty of them would be constantly coming
mustard.
on screen.
God damn it.
But we wouldn't have to worry. There was like a big backup of like 5 minutes of passwords to type by the time somebody got the right one.
I can't believe you tried to put mayonnaise and password, yeah. I'm also glad nobody guessed it. I had to pick a non-obvious word. Like, not many people are just going to type constellation. Re-entry, Ponko, 16 emotes. Debut. Everybody's just typing. I asked Scab. These are really funny.
Is 16 emotes like a streamer version of 16 candles?
No, it's just because that was in the. Did you put my old name in there? Get out of here. Who did that?
Are you sure you have thought of everything?
Okay, so are you sure you have thought of everything? I have a little thing that I can use to press on my stream deck that I could press to do it. So I could like here, listen. Oh, let me unmute this really quick.
You will have to try again. There has to be a way to know.
Yeah, so I could play these hints for you. So I was saying, like, come on, chat, you can, the hints there. Good luck. At Kiara stream.
There has to be a way to know.
Yeah, so many wrong passwords. We anime now. Business doc. Oh, someone put my email. 16 star. These are great. Partner. Hunter 2.
There had to be at least one Hunter too.
Yeah,
Wait, was that me?
There had to be. Idle cheat boxed Eddie at what? I love Sonic. We put it Robo Lane, Eddie. Okay, this is great. Yeah, I've never read all these passwords that y'all put in. I am 100% Mafia. Tank. I am not Mafia. Near. Oh, it's seconds. Buy my merch. Oh yeah, then you watch the video again. That was good. Come on. Yeah, it goes for a little bit. Ooh,
Yeah, it was good that this was before the timer.
Yeah, I think even with the timer running, it would have been fine. But yeah, everybody is now looking at the schedule, and I loved how everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's here, it's here!" Like seeing the cooperativeness made me very happy. Quote 96. What's quote 96? Of course, I should have known that as quote 96.
I thought it might have been.
Yeah, everybody's just typing in random things. Random. Oh, now we lost their forever pilot.
I think we're getting close. I feel like the rando one was very close.
Yeah, you all were stuck on this password for a while. This is why originally I was gonna have the timer running during this, but yeah. We screwed. It's coming soon. Yeah. There it is. Constellation. Crealia. Good job. I hope that jingle. I hunted for like 3 days to find a good jingle that I liked. For the confirmed. But also I want you to know. I wish Bastion Blue was here. Anyone know what that is? Anyone recognize that sound effect?
It did sound familiar, but I can't quite place it.
Tank! Tank, where are you? This is your question. Yeah, this is Brood War. Yeah, the Brood War sound effect when you're trying to land. Unacceptable landing zone. Unacceptable landing zone. Yeah, that's that sound effect.
I see, I'm just used to hearing it when I'm panic spamming it.
All right, so we get here, and then instantly get a little riddle that I wrote for the 2-factor code. Y'all actually got this pretty quick. It took me a while to write this because, like, dang, I don't know poetry, but I kind of want to make a little bit of a little riddle for y'all. And I was debating whether or not to include the red text, Ocarina of Time hint style. But I figured if I didn't include the red text, people probably would have not gotten it. But yeah, I was constantly saying things over and over that led up to this. Like I was dropping hints that, yeah, I love the Kiara channel. I absolutely adore the Kiara channel. It makes my day. I said it like 20 times over the course of the months leading up to this. So that people would know that I've been talking about this, whoever's been watching me, and know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's 4 hints that place it. Community gathering site, that's Discord. Kiara's favorite place, that is the Kiara channel. Important information, that is the pinned messages. And then the bold is the bold. So if you go in here and you go to the pinned messages, all of these numbers are bold. 159, 1421. So the correct solution I had in my head was you order these posts by date and then you list them out. So it'd be 1, 2, 159, 14. That'd be the intended correct answer. But I figured I'd make it a little bit easier. So there's actually 4 correct 2-factor codes. So if you also put in 159, 1421 and just did it in order, that also worked. And there are a couple other permutations that I allowed that you could do. So I think I had like 1, 2, 1, 4, 159 was also one. So basically, any way you look at these numbers, if you put them together in a way that makes sense to you, it would have been accepted.
It was great for usability, not that great as a two-factor code, because there were technically like 4 codes that counted.
Yeah, but hey, this is all part of the immersion, right? Yeah. And I also gave the other hint 7-digit two-factor codes that you knew how many digits you were looking for, and that it was digit, so it's numbers you're looking for. So, but this went quite a lot faster, so I think my riddle was pretty good. You know.
And we're pointing out somebody did try mustard here as well.
Yeah. Look, I love seeing everybody excited. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to chat here because I was busy with other stuff. But I love how excited everybody got. Mustard. God, heck y'all, chat. Can't believe you're putting mustard on me. Mustard is 7 letters, I guess. What was really hard to read? The riddle? Was it too small? Oh, constellation. Yeah, it was supposed to be really hard to read. I wanted everybody to be looking at that together and like trying to find stuff. Yeah. I think Eddie actually got this one. And so many people just putting in random words and everything.
Yeah, one thing I'd wanted to do if we had more time was actually basically like keep track of a lot of the stats of like who successfully entered what and like how many orbs got thrown at the end and things like that. But we just never got to it.
You may navigate.
Yeah, it looks like Eddie is the one who got it. 159,
Just type
1421.
your desired selection in chat.
Yeah. So this timer was not running in time. Originally it was. Originally, when I had Nicole record her lines, as soon as she said there's 26 minutes, XX seconds, I was going to start the timer right there. And then that's how long you had in order to do it. Which you would have. You would have had enough time, barely. But you may have been wondering what happens when the timer reaches 0. And the answer is nothing. Failure was not considered.
I think I said a couple times, this challenge is interesting because we're building a game, but it was also a lot more like a movie because you wanted there to feel like there were stakes. But at the same time, it had to end a certain way.
Yep.
We didn't have the option of the player being like, you know what, I'm gonna put this down and pick it up tomorrow. That wasn't really a thing.
Mm-hmm. But on the day of, I actually pulled up the Chrono Trigger, world-ending Lavos wins, and the future refused to change. Little video, and I was just gonna play that video up and then also flash a little thing of text that says load last save ?
That would have been cute.
And then it's like that was my like scuffed, if it really came to that I would do it, but it was not like baked in and planned. That's what I had like on the side burner if I needed it. It's like
Chad,
if the time hit 10 minutes,
how dare you.
yeah, if the time hit 10 minutes I would have started preparing that. So yeah. And yeah, speaking of illusion of choice, yeah, I put in here journal entry 2022. This is to imply I have not touched this system in forever. I have placeholder shit in here. That's all intentional. Yeah, note to self, actually finish building the system this year so it actually contains something useful. And you're supposed to get, it's like, yeah, I've never, no, the original debut was in 10/21, 10/14, 2021, something like that. Not 2022. 22 was 1 year of VTubing. I debuted all the way back in 2021. So yeah, this is station information. And yeah, you can navigate to everything. You can exit desktop, log out, but really, this is all illusion of choice. Here, all you have is CCTV and power distribution that gives you anywhere to go. And yeah, I gave Jayo some realistic numbers for station altitude and tank pressure. And if this timer hit 0, this station altitude would be at an altitude that would represent like atmospheric entry, where you're starting to really get taken over by the atmosphere. So that was accurate.
It stopped at 75.
Yeah, that's accurate.
There
that
is
would
only
have
20
been true.
minutes left.
Oh yeah, and I love this. So like we started at 2031. That's just like a hard-coded timer. And then I wanted it to not immediately transfer over to the FF7 music. I wanted people to kind of get caught off guard for a little bit going through these systems and reading stuff, so that when it actually came on,
There is only 20 minutes left until
this song
the
comes in.
You must hurry.
And then I hope this got your blood pumping to go figure it out, because this is before you've seen any of the menus and you got the music play. I was really happy. I was smiling so much when Jayo first implemented this. Yeah, look at all the S's in there. Yeah. So here we are at the CCTV.
Oh, this spot was dicey.
Yeah. So there was one problem with the way this all worked. So as you know, the answer to what you have to do is under the airlock. And when you first activate the stream camera, a canned bit of dialogue plays. So if you solved how to reroute power to the stream camera without ever activating the stream camera, it would have said, wow, it looks like the stream camera is offline. You got to find some way, but it's already restored. So it broke. So I was like, Jayo, you need to make sure they go to the stream camera first, so it activates that dialogue.
One of the ways I did that is the stream cam actually used to be the 4th option, and I moved it up to the 2nd, so that people were hopefully more likely to try it first.
Yeah, and
you'll
I think
notice they almost didn't.
Yeah, but yeah, we got most people going to stream. Yeah, Jayo started stream first, because I told Jayo, please encourage stream. Yeah, Vula went stream. Yeah. But the way this worked, the whole menu worked. Jay, I'll let you explain how the polling worked for all these options.
Yeah, for sure. So these are basically using that mass driver mechanic that we've seen a couple other times, where a certain number of people need to do something for something to happen. Each one of these is effectively a handful of those put together. So the way it would work is it would function sort of like a poll. If you use exclamation point nav power, it would add a notch of progression to the power section. But then if you tried exclamation point nav logout before it was finished, it would actually remove that from power distribution and put it to logout. So the idea here was that 5 people would have to agree on something before it would happen. And then once that thing happened, everything except the selected one got reset to 0 so that people could navigate somewhere else. So this again sort of helps us counter the stream delay and make it so that chat has to now actually actively collaborate together. And it makes it so that it was a little bit harder for people to kind of independently decide to troll or derail the whole thing.
Yeah, you couldn't just spam. You only had 1 vote, so you couldn't just spam power distribution 5 times and it would go there. You only had one vote, and then you had to have 4 other unique people choose to go there over anything else.
In fact, there is only one of these mass drivers that would actually let people spam and recognize multiples, and we are about to see it.
Yeah.
It looks like the main camera is not receiving.
Yeah, so this is the
enough
canned
power.
voice line.
There must be a way to reroute it.
But look at that. You go immediately to the airlock right after, so that's why I was so scared. Yeah, exclamation point enhanced, you could spam. You needed to spam it like 30 times. But yeah, everybody can go and just spam
this
to their
one
heart's
didn't need
content.
independent entries. You could just enter the command repeatedly. It would count every single time.
Enhancing video.
It looks like the video doesn't loop. But yeah, I went in and made this. Oh, this map is fun. I actually put some thought into this map here. So all of these little camera views were drawn by N in a Box, except the final one that was drawn by King Kaiki. So I want to bring up them so you can appreciate the detail that went into them, because they're on screen for so little time, right? So this is the external camera, right? So I have the solar array. We're in sector 4. So like in here, that's implied to be like where the stream room stuff is. Got little yellow handrails all over the place, and then you got the planet. And they're not the most like hyper detailed drawings because like, hey, limited budget, but I made like all of the debris move around. So I animated all of these. I had like a couple layers to work with, so I kind of like sent the debris flying elsewhere. But for this one specifically, I gave a little concept sketch for it of kind of what I wanted. So let me pull it up for you here. Yeah, so here, this is when I still had it called Sector 7, and then I renamed it to Sector 4 because I didn't want the Final Fantasy 7 comparisons. But yeah, this is my little. That was
funny.
Yeah, this is my little sketch that I made of like a functional solar array system, like where the batteries would be, yellow handrails for. Because if you look at the ISS, there's handrails everywhere to tie down to do everything. Where a window would be, and I just put some general notes of what should be there. Yeah, some arm I put, and I handed this over to N in a Box to go turn into this, which he did an absolutely amazing job. And then yeah, let's go over to art assets. I got so many art assets for this. Yeah, this is the one you didn't even get to see. Y'all solved it before you even saw this. I really like this one too, because the camera's crashed on the ground. You got wiring that you're seeing all over the place, and you got the stars moving. But yeah, it's not the most animated. But like, I don't want to spend $800 on 4 camera views that you're gonna see for a short amount of time, right? So, but I had thought put into this actually. I actually put way too much thought into it. So this is a little schematic I drew of it. It's like, here's the stream set. Here's the stream camera. Cam 7SR, server room, vent access. So on here, all these camera views do match the angle that the camera views are actually at. So if you look at this hallway here, you got a little door here, you got a little empty thing here. And that's what it is. You got a little door here, there's a window, and further hallway over here. So like it matches everything on here. If we go to like the external, it also matches there. And then the one with the airlock also matches down to the angle and positioning on the right side of the door where that camera should be. So yeah, here's like the version of it. And you could probably see Cam 4 SR. But I was nervous that if you're watching at 1080p, it would not be legible. So I had the enhance thing. And I was talking to Jayo about
really
it.
Drove the idea home that not everybody was going to be watching in 4K.
If you're watching in 4K, you could clearly see Cam 4 SR, and it's flashing red. You got the little alert thing going on. I wanted to add some more little stuff, but I wanted to give people a bigger view of the space station, you know. And add some visual storytelling to. I'm not outright telling you stuff. You kind of like discover it's like, oh, this is what Kiara's place looks like, right? So I hope that was fun seeing a little bit of that come alive. You know, kind of expands on my little room here. Yeah, you can see 2 Sector 3, 2 Sector 5. Here's the shuttle bay. So this goes to the shuttle bay. This is how I get in and out. And yeah, so I was thinking also of having like an enhance for every camera, so it wasn't obviously on one. We ended up agreeing not to do that, but it was...
And the reason why is that we figured that out roughly like 18 hours before showtime.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I could do this, but we got to do a show tomorrow. Yeah. So if I had more time and thought more ahead, I would have put an enhanced video feed on every single one of these. But let's go back into the debut video. Are you ready? Oh, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. All right, so where are we? We're at the enhanced part, right? I do like this music just fits so perfectly, I think, with the vibe I was going for. You had the timer countdowning. I hope this was like not stressful, but intense. I hope it made it intense. Yeah, making that flash so you can all see it. Yeah, poor hallway never got viewed on stream. Yep, then y'all go to power distribution. You had to put in the device ID, which I gave you hints of what they should be, because you have cam 4 SA, cam 4 EM, cam 4 AL. You know you want to hit in the camera one, and so I had fun making this little lightning symbol and all this, and basically all it is these are 2 PNGs, and as soon as you type in the correct one, it swaps over to the other one. I'm not sure how many people notice this, but
I actually used a little bit of Photoshop magic to sort of splice them together, so that the only part that needed to change is near the bottom.
Yeah, here's another thing that I was kind of thinking. Like this cut the power to the airlock, so I needed people to go there. So nobody noticed that it cut the power to that, because I think if you go back to CCTV, we're back on the airlock and it's fine. But hey, you know, don't worry about it. Yeah, so now everybody needs to get back to CCTV. And yeah, I think it did show on the airlock for a little bit. Yeah, so a little bit of a continuity area. This should have been static, but whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when they popped over here. I was like, oh yeah, we probably should have had the power there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
then we
have the static graphic because we use it during the transition between enhanced. So like it would have been free to just do it. We just forgot.
Yep, that was an overstep. So this art was drawn by King Kaiki, who is absolutely amazing, and she streamed this. She streamed her entire time drawing this. If you're a King Kaiki watcher, you saw this. I just did not mention anything about it, or acknowledge anything about it, or what it was for. It's just there. But I wanted a pained expression, a little winced expression. I wanted to look in bad shape. And as soon as you activate this camera, the music fades, because I just want sound effects. I wanted it to like look pretty dire. And so I thought the absence of music was a good choice here. But you come in here, once you're on here, it's going to automatically full screen. And then the music fades out. But yeah, so obviously this is a video, so I have to make all the sound effects myself. So you have this like low rumbling in the background. There's like miscellaneous explosions that happen.
Order confirmed. Running diagnostics scan.
This is really fun.
Oh, this is probably one of the pieces I had the most fun making. That is actually your model, but I decimated the hell out of it. So it was down to like 1,400 triangles or something. And then I used a shader that simulates the PlayStation 1 vertex estimation to kind of give it that look, and then also put in some vertex glitching. And then the hologram here is actually a modified VR chat asset. Shoutouts to my friend Zach, who makes this hologram projector as like a proper VR chat. I wound up taking the shader that does the projection and modifying it so that we could like do that sweeping beam effect and kind of constrain the angles that it shoots out at. Like this was like a really, really fun little prop, which FYI was actually running the whole time in the background chat.
Yep.
Just waiting to be seen.
I warn you.
Anyway.
It's technically in the Unity scene, it's like 1,000 meters up and 1,000 meters to the left. Just way out of camera view.
A big reason...
And it's on its own little camera.
Yeah, a big reason that I pushed to do a 3D stream is because I knew this was going to be in there. So like, I should probably make sure people know that 3D Kiara exists before they see this, because otherwise they're going to be like, wait, what? Huh? Where did that come from? How did you do that? So that's why I did the 3D stream, and I forced myself to do the 3D stream so that it wasn't as much of a surprise when you saw 3D me getting scanned. My original idea was like for a wireframe and like little red dots kind of pop up, but I do really like this, and I think it got the point across just as well, and was definitely a little easier to do.
Yeah, your face has so many polygons, especially because we like tripled them in the 3D model. They're like at this scale, a wireframe would have just been a blur in a lot of places where all the detail is.
I would have to like make my own custom wireframe. Yeah, then we had like the Metroid Prime scan sound effect going on. And I told Nicole goodnight. I was like, make up a bunch of miscellaneous like ailments. Like, you know, put some broken bones in there, internal bleeding, burns, lacerations, just come up. So she came up with fractured tibia, which is just funny.
It's when you break your tibia and your fibula so hard that for a split second they fuse into one bone, which then itself breaks.
We must activate Project Dionysus.
I want to hear if you could hear one of the explosions in the
I
background.
warn you, there will be no going back.
This is a 20-minute sound clip. There it goes. Yeah, hear the explosion?
Order confirmed. Activating Project Dionysus. Chat.
And people were so engaged with this, we absolutely should have bumped the numbers on all of these up for how many it took to do things.
I am diverting all remaining power.
Yeah, so I added some glitchy audio
It is
for Nicole powering down.
hands. Now.
Yeah, it took me a while to come up
Fun
with
fact.
that. Yeah, go ahead.
There were also voice clips for 15 minutes and 10 minutes. And if I remember correctly, that would have been another continuity error because totally not Nicole Goodnight that the space station robot has already shut down. If y'all hit at 15, we would have gotten another sound clip. I think it fades out at like 15:02 or something ridiculous.
It was pretty close. But the intended lore here is that the computer on the station is actually KiawaBot in Discord chat. So I prepped a message to go out after this that would say, I've used the last of my power, bot shutting down. You may want to check something new, but freaking like, and also the channel point redemption went up automatically. As soon as this voice line finishes, the channel point goes live and people were on it instantly, practically instantly. And then, yeah, every time you do it, a little thing comes in. Little orb. And it plays a little noise.
And this is some interesting wizardry too, because all of the effects for like the orb and the glowy stuff in front of it, those are actually 3D. I got like some trigonometry nonsense going to basically have this
Look how many orbs there are.
frame with the video on it, that no matter how far away it gets from the camera, exactly like grows to fit the aspect ratio of the camera. So that way, for this scene and this scene alone, we could actually get the frame really far away off in the distance, so everything has room to fly in, and then use a really, really wide angle on the camera to sort of give everything that flat look on top.
Yep. And that's why you were complaining about Trig the other night. Yep.
Yeah.
So this sound effect that I have for the trail is like a pitched down chime, set of chimes that I used for like them coming in. Let me go back to the start here where only one of them was going.
It is.
So I have
In
pitched down
your
chimes
Hands. Now.
and slowed down for when this orb comes on. It's like that little noise right there. So that's pitched down chimes. I'm proud of these sound effects. I want them to feel really alien. And then when it comes in, one of them is a tubular. I think this is a tubular bell that I also like just changed all over the place and like added in like weird distortions and like low pass, high pass filters to kind of like mess with the frequency response so it sounds like kind of alien. And then there's also, I had Jayo add in like a pitch shifter to this as well. So there's only like one or two sound effects I made, then it picks like a random pitch range for it to come in, so they don't all sound exactly the same.
I think I had it go between like 80 and 120%.
So that's why you hear it going in different times. But I wanted it to sound really weird. And then yeah, little spirals get big. Little flash gets big. Nice shot. Nice shot. Yeah. So I was really hoping here. Like, let me see. After I set it to 250 orbs. So you had to cheer or send 250 orbs of energy. And this was the thing I was most worried about. Like, I hope there's going to be enough people to send 250 orbs. And I was way off. You all sent over 500 in a much shorter amount of time. So...
Yeah, because FYI chat, once you hit the 250, there was about 32 seconds before you couldn't send orbs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So if we extend that average, it just took you about a minute to send 500.
Yep. it was insane.
And those weren't cheap either.
500 points each? Every single one of these is a channel point reward. And like it blows my mind how fast these came in. But yeah, once you hit 250, the music starts. There it goes. So it starts very low level. This is Genesis Beyond the Beginning from ES Origin, which I randomly came across, and I was like, dang, this song is pretty hype. I really, really like it. But one thing I really, really like that music does that I think really sells it is like you start low and you're fading it in, right? Whatever. But what I also did is I cut out the high frequencies on this, and when you cut out the high frequencies, it makes something sound more muffled and distant. So you hear the music, right?
Oh yeah, right, because low tones carry further.
Yeah. So it sounds distant and quiet. And then I wanted it to go back to normal, so you can hear the music coming. This is the can part. So after that music starts, everything else is going to be automatic. But you could still send orbs for that entire time. So people still kept sending orbs. So I'm glad people did. So the effect was kept.
And it kept getting bigger and growing too.
Yep.
With the extra orbs that y'all sent.
Yeah, I did not see it this big in testing. So good job, chat. You could have broke it with how many orbs you sent. Oh my god.
I remember when it goes when it gets to like the final look later, the math on the light beams does go weird and they behave differently than expected. But it looks cool. Good job, chat.
Yeah, good, excellent job. But I wanted the big rift to be where that filter is removed. And I think the effect that it has is that it makes that hit feel more powerful. Like, just listen to it. It's like when that hit comes in, it feels more impactful because you're now losing the filter and you're at full volume. Yeah, so this is all canned. Yeah, look how big it's getting. So I time this here to a video that it fades to. And yeah, it goes to gold and then fades to white, and then this is the video
the
I
light
made.
beams went all weird. They weren't supposed to do that, and they didn't do that in the testing. I
it
think
worked
that's because
fine.
of what chat did.
Yeah. So yeah, we have the magical girl transformation sequence. This was all animated in After Effects and was very difficult to do. This took 8 hours to render because of these particle effects that I have coming in. So these were supposed to be the orbs that come in, and like this is the power that you sent me. And like I have a static image of outfit 3, my winter outfit. That was intentional so that when it transforms, I'm moving. So it kind of like it adds to the pizzazz that, oh my gosh, like it's now being moving instead of like static. So yeah, these come in and then it does a big fade to white. So this reuses the sound effects from those chimes that I used earlier, but I wanted something different for the fade to white. That sound effect is the repeating spiritual stone sound effect from Ocarina of Time. So I took a snippet of it and turned it into like a little transition thing. So I've had like 50 sound effects I had to make for all of this, or source or find or whatever. So yeah, so once we zoom in, it took like, again, I've never used After Effects outside of this, so I had to find a way to make the move smooth. Because if you just do like a linear, I'm here and I'm over here, it looks really cheap and bad. So you got to add some easing to it. Where
I was so blown away with how you did these transitions, like between spots from a transformed place to a non-transformed place.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you really had to pause it to pick out exactly how that happens because it's so smooth.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad Jayo really liked it because I did spend a lot of time trying to figure out, okay, here's the transform part, but we need to do a fast move to hide the transition, and I need to ease in and ease out like more than the defaults would. I had to custom curve every single one of these. So you'll see it has like a very slow, like strong acceleration, and it slows down. And then like during this whole thing, there's a wipe that happens, but there's also motion blur. I love motion blur. So whenever it's moving, and that the motion blur helped carry it. Yeah, so see right here, you can see like mid transition, so you get it going to this. But there's motion blur on it, so that kind of like helps hide it, the trickery I was doing to do it.
Straight up, if you don't pause it, you cannot see it.
Yeah, if you don't pause it, you're not
smooth.
looking at it, you won't see it. But same thing happens all these other places. So again, just go whoop, and then try and make a nice smooth animation going apart, which was fun. But yeah, you could see some of the wipes, but like I don't think it was too obvious. Yeah, everybody went nuts for the boova. Yeah, look at look at all of that. Yeah. Yeah, then I have this, and then I just decided to cut to the jewel. And it's like, okay, how do I do the cool eye opening? So this eye opening here, which I really like how it turned out. This was basically directly lifted from Weathering with You, Tenki no Ko. So there's a scene I really like where the main character, Hina, is like praying for the water to go away. And it's this exact shot. It's exactly this. except rain is falling, and then she opens up her eyes, and then the rain goes upwards, right? It's like in the trailer. It's a really good shot. So that's what this eye-opening, that's where this came from. Ever since I saw that movie, I was like, I'm gonna find a way to use this. It's really good. Good artists borrow, great artists steal, but you got to get permission first. Yeah, and I timed that to the Outer Wilds sound effects, which I really, really liked Outer Wilds. And I was trying to think of like different ways to do the reverse time travel, and like I don't know, I just really liked Outer Wilds or something. I did not know that Zoe also used Outer Wilds during her debut.
Really?
So yeah, so what I found out, I was like, shit, I'm an asshole. So I didn't intend that, but it great minds think alike. So yeah, I used a lot of Outer Wilds music in her debut. But yeah, then this transitions over to this sucker. This freaking video, chat. So if you play Outer Wilds, this is something you see a lot. So I had to recreate it as best as I could, which was hard because you got small stuff, you got it flying towards you. So I had to draw out like these runes, right? And then have them fly towards the screen. So I painstakingly drew these out. But there's only two. There's only two unique ones. But I duplicated them. I had them come out of different spots, at different sizes, at different orientations. I've mirrored them. I stacked them. I rotated them. And yeah, and then they just all fly towards the screen. And then I went through and took images and just played them in reverse, and I got a spreadsheet out for the timing to make sure the timing is a smooth progression curve versus just random. So I had this little spreadsheet where I had, okay, this is the frame start, the frame ends, and then here's the slow progression, so it slowly speeds up until you actually get there. And then I added in a little bit of a gray background for a lot of these. Because this is just black. The video is just black here. There's no gray. But it looked kind of awkward having this like picture view and it blended into the background. It's like this just looked offset. So I needed to add it in.
Especially with the reboot scene right at the beginning. And
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
that'd be floating words in the middle.
Yeah, so I needed to have this gray rectangle to kind of make sure the frame is seen at all times so it doesn't look out of place. But yeah. So you could see Jayo testing it in these images when I took them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Jayo
Every
sent me
single
over
one
video.
of these will just everybody in chat.
Yep,
In
that's
these
just
little scenes
Jayo.
here, it's just me.
There was a time where I was seriously considering how do I take images during the actual debut and insert them. I didn't have enough time to figure out how to do that, so I just used this, and it's a fun little Easter egg for people who find it. Yeah. And then if you watch the images at the start, I made sure these go in the correct order, by the way. Yes, there's that. I gave each of the cameras their own limelight. So you never saw this camera, but you got to see it in the rewinds. Yeah, right here. So I went and posed for these photos. So I went and I moved myself down here. I moved over here. I added motion blur to this one, so the motion blur matches. This is like during the actual hit. It's like there's the little chibi me flying. So yeah, I kept all that. Then I end on me smiling, and then that's it. And then once we're back, I just played a little sound clip for first try. You did it. And then that's That's how it all went together, chat. That's what happened.
Nice shot.
So, yeah, Jayo, I couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, it was so much fun.
2 seconds to try. Yeah. So that's how you met my mother. It was so good. But yeah, if you felt anything, if you felt sadness, if you felt happiness, if you were invested and like excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening next? Then I accomplished my goal of making a miniature episode of TV. Hopefully you were not stressed. If you got chills, like, did anybody actually get chills? Where did you get chills? If I created something that gave you chills, then, or gave you goosebumps, then, dang, I'm pretty dang proud of myself. I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud if I gave people chills. Yeah.
Well, for me, it was when the big guitar riff hit at the end, and it's like, yeah, we did it. We're there. It worked. Let's go.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time getting that, like, the effects right for that. So many, like, I care a lot about the small details. That's why I like doing these, because I like showing all the small details that I'm sure none of you noticed at all, or most of you did not notice that went on. Like, I'm not sure if anybody noticed how much effort went into the smoke going into the light. That one took so long. But it's such a cool effect. That, yeah. But yeah, I don't want
to.
to.
Effects that are just never really in the budget. They only come from like passion and love, and that's really something you're only going to see when somebody is like personally connected and invested in the project, like you are.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you all enjoyed it, because I wasn't sure how I was going to go. I wasn't sure, like, if people are going to figure out the passwords, or if they're going to get stuck, or not, or feel it's kind of lame, but I think people did get immersed, and I had a good time. You absolutely appreciated that cable in the moment. Yeah. I was going to have some debris, miscellaneous, like, pipes and shit fall from the top. I just ran out of time to do it. And, like, again, this video took 18 hours to render. 18 hours. So I was like, I don't want to re-render this again. It's done. Yeah, so I was going to have some Star Trek rocks and some giant foam come in and maybe hit me on the head or something. I don't know. Yeah, out of curiosity, this is to stroke my own ego here, I'll be honest. How many of people, when the explosion hit, were like, holy shit? I spent a lot of time on that effect. I intentionally made the sound quite loud, so I hope it sounded loud, the explosion. Maybe caught you off guard. Because I'm not sure what people expected to happen when the meteor hit. If it's just going to be like, shake and something off screen. Yeah. But yeah, I had the little chibi fly. I had, if I had more time and more skill, I would have separated out this background. I would have had the Master Sword fall down. I would have had this thing fall off the desk. I would have had Gino fall onto the floor. Maybe I would have the Metroid break through and escape. These are all ideas I had for it. Is the next debut going to involve Kiara having to force land the space station on the moon, make it into a moon base? I don't know. I really like the visual novel idea. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but...
Well, we've already got a handful of mechanics.
And then also, like, maybe making, like, a little game, like a little miniature game could be fun. Yeah. I want to utilize Thorn's pixel art in some way. For something. Yeah. Eventually, but I don't want to promise anything like this again, because I had a good idea. I really liked the idea. I had a lot of people help me, a lot of people excited. And again, I started working on this in September, and it's like it took a lot from me to make all this and make everything. Honestly, you did not pick up in the run-up that this was going to involve a whole interactive production. You figured, oh, hey, new outfit, just going to be a new model. I'll check it out on the stream at some point. This will be it. Yeah, I knew very early on I wanted it to... Okay, let me go off the scene so we're done with the little video. I really wanted it to be interactive. Uh-oh, I'm losing frames. Let me pop up. That was the backup stuff, okay? The dial-up was the emergency comm connection when the main relays were taken out, okay? We were on backup power. That's the lore, okay? The lore is we had to use backup systems. So there's a dial-up backup. Yeah. Yeah, I guess Jayo, any final thoughts on the stuff here?
I mean, I think nothing really that hasn't already been said. Like, I'm absolutely over the moon, pardon the space pun, about how it went over. Like, the way that chat timed it, things like that. Like, I knew what was coming every step of the way, at least, of that particular portion, and, like, I was still on the edge of my seat. It was extremely cool. It's just so much fun to be part of things like this, because frankly I haven't seen anything else like it.
I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn too much here. I just really like talking about this is like filmmaking adjacent, right? Like I'm making little special effects shots, and which is like that I made a couple special effects shots for this, making little videos and little storyline. I just really, it's like a big passion of mine. I just love talking about it. So sorry if I sound like a little arrogant or something, but I hope I'm not coming across that way. I don't intend to. I'm really passionate about this stuff and anything like related to making film and video and everything. And I like sharing what I really like talking about what went into it. Like it, and I love behind the scenes stuff for movies and everything. So I love doing this so much. So yeah. So what do y'all think? Did y'all learn something? Did y'all notice something you didn't see before? There's a giant rock near the station. Oh my god. Oh. Wow, it's a moon. I'm okay. It's just a moon. I do want the planet outside to rotate. That is part of my future upgrades to my stream. I may have to draw it myself or make a 3D model of a planet that I can rotate. I just need a high-res planet that I could put out there versus a static image, which I'm going to have to figure out how to learn a 3D program to make a sphere that I can put out there. But yeah, I had so much fun with all like the little details and making it work. And well, I'm geostationary right now because I have to be. I like to relocate the station to be in a low Earth orbit so I can see more of what's going on the planet. Yeah. I mean, you need to draw on the texture. You need to get the glow of the atmosphere. You need to get city lights that when it goes from daytime to nighttime, you see lights pop up on the surface. You need to get the ocean reflections based off of the camera placement. You need to get clouds that move. Hey, Field, if you want to knock that out in an hour, be my guest. But yeah. Yeah, again, Jayo, thank you so much for coming on to talk about it. I don't deserve your help.
I mean, frankly, you do. I mean, like, you're pretty much the reason that I know what VTubers are. And like fast forward 3 years, and I'm like one of the main developers for one of the main VTuber platforms, and I spend a lot of time making things easier and more approachable for VTubers everywhere. So now we're even.
Now we're even. All right, I'm gonna have to open up the pocketbooks next debut. All right, I'll start saving now for the pay Jayo to do cool, awesome things fund for next time. I don't know. I don't want to promise that I'll ever do something this involved again, because it was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. It was expensive. How much money did this cost me? I think it cost me probably $1,500 to put this together for all the art. Outside of the art I bought or I made myself. As well as paying for the software. Like, yeah, all of that was the camera view art and software licenses. Yeah, so, but it was worth it. It was totally worth it. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So this is just one of those ideas where it's just
things I've had the opportunity to be a part of for sure.
I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy y'all had a good time. I was smiling ear to ear, exactly like that emote when people were having a good time with it. So I don't intend to try and top it. Like if I top it, great, but I'll never try to. I don't believe in scope creep. I'm not gonna. If I try to top it and I do top it, then people are like, "Oh my god, what's Kiara gonna come up with next?" They're just gonna be disappointed whenever I can't debut something and top it or do something. So
you heard it here first, chat. She's not only is she gonna top it, she's gonna do it without even trying.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. No, we'll see. I have a couple fun little ideas. I have 3 different ideas for debuts planned. All of them involve some chat activity. One of them involves pixel art. One of them involves visual novels. One of them involves some other stuff. All very gamey. We'll see. I'm just musing right now. Like, obviously, if I go make one of those, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I'd have to actually write a story. Oh my god! Instead of just show cool things and have like events that happen. But I have some ideas, but we'll see. I probably got at least a year.
Find me when it comes to the chat interaction.
I probably got a year before my next outfit. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, well, Jayo, I don't want to keep you all night.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and talking today. Everybody go follow Jayo. She's great. I'm happy that you really had fun working on this project, and I can't wait to work on more stuff, because I have more interactive stream ideas I'm working on. Then I need to, yeah, Jayo. Now we need to work on the chat widget. The custom chat widget is next. Our next project.
Yeah.
Where I can draw a little chibi art and put it in there. Though Zoe was also talking about something here, but I'll have to see what they want to do. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and dip out of here and take a little bit of a little snack break. But yeah, thanks again, Jayo, so much. This debut would not have been the same without you. I would not have had as much sleep without you, so thank you so much. And yeah, I'll be talking to you soon, I'm sure. Bye.
Yep, I'll see you later, Kiki.
Oh, I love Jayo. I'm so happy she had a great time with that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. I just love talking about behind the scenes stuff, And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye. See you at the next debut, maybe. Yeah.